Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 378.
378.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel. So what I didn't realize about MEI and Mouse Fan Travel is how much they donate to various charities. And I just wanted to talk about that for a minute. They donate to Give Kids World, Best Friends Animal Society, and Make-A-Wish. So this year, if you book this year for 2021 travel, which is what I think almost everybody's looking for now, they will donate equally for bookings made for next year for all three of them. So equally for the three. I just think that's very nice.
Very nice. Yes, I agree 100%.
And so, I mean, we worked with them for years, and I never really thought about that they did this. And I just thought it was really, really great. Especially Give Kids a World is one that we work with.
So we're going to start off today with the Taste of Epcot International Festival of the Holidays.
So all of the festivals this year are taste of ever since the parks reopened, because it's not, the full-blown festival. So I was at Epcot this morning. It didn't look quite this nice.
Yeah, this was a beautiful day.
It was. Like this morning it was raining when I was at Epcot. So anyway, here we usually have topiaries and such out, but we still have some nice artwork, some fun additions.
I do like this, where you have the addition of the actual lights, with the photo of the lights there. So that was pretty cool.
And I hadn't even noticed that. I don't have the best eyesight sometimes. So until you said it, I thought that was fun.
And I think the reason that there's no topiary, at least over there, is because there's still so much construction going on. So they probably just aren't ready for that yet.
Well, I mean, we don't have topiaries right now, I think, up at all in the park that I know of. So here is Joy, and Joy has not too much, a little
she
festive
is
flair.
In full Christmas attire. She has a scarf. That's all you need. There
it's
it
not
is.
A scarf.
Yes, that's a Christmas scarf, of course.
Is it? No, it's sort of like I think it's more of garland. I think she just sort of wearing garland.
Even better. It's just like, throw some garland around your neck and you're ready to go.
So it's garland, yes. And no, I mean you know what? It's fun. And I guess she was like this at DCA or something, somebody told me. And I don't even remember that. So, I think maybe in the Happy Holidays.
Oh, yeah. You can't see me. I have a huge smile on my face, though. I love this. These are so much fun, these character interactions that they have over here by the Imagination Pavilion. Of course, they have the prop of the gift here, and I look forward to when we see Winnie the Pooh, because Winnie the Pooh is actually going to find a gift for himself in that box.
They're kind of far away. So, they do move towards some of the guests, not too close,
right.
But here's Winnie the Pooh. He's got a little Santa hat on. Really cute. It's nice that they give a little additions to the characters for the holidays. I remember they used to have the butterfly tent out here when Joy and Pooh first made their appearance back in July. You still had the remnants of the butterfly tent from the Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival.
And there's no official time that this happens, so you kind of have to hang out there. Kind of like Pooh is hanging out by the tree.
Pooh always seems to pose really well. Joy this time didn't do as much posing, but Pooh was like really interacting a lot.
Well, Joy, she was aware of the room because she would go all over this whole area and wave and see people where Pooh would kind of stay center and over to where we were.
I think she went over more to the kids on the other side, which was, I'm sure they were thrilled.
And Pooh is playing Jingle Bells. If you watch our version that we have with sound, you could see he attempts to play Jingle Bells with the help of some of the guests.
I guess Joy wasn't in the mood for Jingle Bells.
Perhaps Pooh had the Jingle Bells and there was nothing left for Joy. See, notice he actually walks away with the present there. So, you never know.
It must have been the end of the day, But I thought that was super cute.
And we have the
Jamators, but they are in their Christmas. I know that there's a name for them here, but they are at the mill stage in the Canada Pavilion. And I thought, it's nice to see entertainment. Any entertainment right now is is very welcome.
Right, more entertainment here at Epcot than pretty much any other park right now, I think.
Oh, Magic Kingdom has a lot of processions.
That's
and
true.
stuff.
That's true.
Yeah.
So you were at a media event to kick off the Taste of the Festival of the Holidays. Why don't you set it up for us?
So this is in World Showplace, and we got to try some items, some of the treats and such. But also, I did some interviews, and one of those was with guest experience manager Will Dasso, who's my favorite person pretty much to interview.
Every time.
Yes, I love to talk to him. And here he is talking about the merchandise.
Good morning, welcome to the Epcot International Festival of the Holidays for 2020. My name is Will. I am a guest experience manager here at Epcot Festivals. And we've got an exciting new collection of products to celebrate this year's event, and let's jump right in. Actually, on this side of the table, we've got some annual pass holder exclusive items. So we know that pass holders love our festivals, and we love developing products to share. So Chip and Dale are prominent features of this year's collection, and you can see they're kind of working on their own gingerbread village and maybe some gingerbread cookies. Thinking about the cookie stroll, making me hungry. And speaking of, we've got a fantastic new cookie jar, completely new redesign for 2020. Fully ceramic and with a nice 3D sculpted Chip and Dale up on top. And anybody who's familiar with some of our old animated shorts, that little Santa might be ringing a bell with you. Continuing right along, and also with some annual pass holder and actually Disney Vacation Club member exclusives are our trading pin collections. So from left to right, the left one is a limited release that's available for everybody. The one in the center is exclusive for pass holders, and then finally our Vacation Club members are getting some recognition with a limited edition pin just for you. You'll want to go to Mouse Gear specifically to obtain this pin right here. We would be remiss if we didn't talk about one of the newest features of this year's International Festival of the Holidays, which is Olaf's Holiday Tradition Expedition. This is a brand new scavenger hunt that has been developed for 2020. And you're going all the way around the World Showcase where Olaf has found and lost some of our holiday traditions, and you'll be tracking them all down. 13 items in total is what you'll be looking for. And for prizes, I know we like to give the preview here. It's a choice of 3 different lenticular cups themed to Disney Frozen between Anna, Elsa, Olaf, and they're really nice. So that's still $7.99 to participate in that one. And then rounding out our collection, we've got some really nice plates and ornaments, also featuring Chip and Dale. A limited edition magic band, that one's an edition size of 1,500. And then finally our apparel that's available for everybody. Get a load of the Spirit jersey, it is so cool. It's got shaggy Sherpa feeling to it, so just the texture of this is super fuzzy and cozy and warm. And you can see our tagline on the back is naughty and nice, and if that doesn't describe Chip and Dale, then I don't know what does.
I love all the Chip and Dale merchandise.
Yeah. So thank you for looking at our collection. Make sure to come see it all at the World Showplace here at Epcot International Festival of the Holidays, running through December 31st.
Thank you, Will.
Lots of nice items. Once again, Chip and Dale taking a front row for this.
Yeah, they look a little different on some of the merchandise. They have a little bit of a different look. And I took some video after I interviewed him just to kind of, give a look at the merchandise. Like while I'm doing it, I'm trying to be distanced from him.
Right.
So it was afterwards I actually went in on the merchandise.
Well, that naughty and nice Spirit jersey, that would go really nice with last year's blue Spirit jersey with Chip and Dale.
Well, it's really interesting because it's got kind of a fuzz to it. It's
oh really? Oh yeah, I see that, like a stocking.
Yeah, it's a little different. So I thought that was
Interesting.
fun. But you can see how Chip and Dale look a little different.
Oh, and once again we have the gingerbread house, but in this case it is the gingerbread Capitol, U.S. Capitol building.
Well, it's not only the U.S. Capitol building, it's the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial, it's the Washington Monument, it's the Lincoln Memorial, and it's the Thomas Jefferson Memorial. And this is usually in the American Adventure Pavilion. This is
much smaller, I think, in there in the past, right?
Well, I don't want to say much smaller, but yeah, smaller. Like you normally cannot walk around it. This is the first time you can walk actually fully around the display. And there is more to it this year as far as like when you look at how much gingerbread, it's 165 pounds of gingerbread where last year was 160. But like they have 25 pounds of chocolate rock and you didn't have any chocolate rock last year. So there is more to it. You've got Mickey and you've got Minnie. You've got 13 hidden and not so hidden Mickeys, a lot of pixie dust. And this is just really, really nice. I love gingerbread displays. We talk about them every year. There aren't so many this year, though.
And your footage is great with the iPhone. I mean, when I tried to shoot this later on when it was open to the public, number one, it was packed. At no point can I get a nice, shot like this without distracting in the background and everything. And it was dark also. It was nicely lit for that event.
And by packed, you just mean...
A lot of guests. There were guests all around
Right,
standing
but-
on the dots looking at the gingerbread house.
Yes, but not packed like pre-pandemic.
Oh, no.
It would have
No,
been.
no, I don't
I
mean-
just
I don't
want
mean
to
to
make
say
sure.
that, yes.
So Carol Stein here is on the piano. She has been in the Rose and Crown previously. That's where a lot of guests know her from. And it was really great to watch her play some music. And I tried some dessert items. I want to say that the Spaceship Earth cookie is
so
my
good.
favorite thing.
So good.
They do have Stalinbread, but it's a much smaller Stalinbread than what you might find. The Grand Floridian has a mini one. And just while we're looking, I'm just talking about because I like Stalinbread.
Well, when we went back, when it opened to the public, I was with you and you bought another one of those
Spaceship
cookies.
Earth.
It was so good.
Right. The Spaceship Earth cookie has salted caramel. And when I took the package, I thought it was 2 cookies. And it's got the heft of 2 cookies.
Right. And a big, thick cookie.
Yes. And it's got like salted caramel in it. And that is my favorite item of what I tried. And we're going to be going around World Showcase a little bit and trying other items. There was a duck. I don't eat duck.
Oh, that duck looks very good, actually.
And I think there was a sea bass. I don't eat fish, so I didn't try everything. I did try some eggnog with rum, and that was very
You
nice.
didn't tell me about that.
I think I might have.
Oh, I would be jealous.
And I, again, I don't think some of these items were not for us to try, but there is a variety.
I could see that,
especially treats, and they have the cookie stroll this year. So, they actually have a very good gingerbread cookie in here, and it's one of the items that you can buy towards the cookie stroll, and after you get, I think it's 5 cookies, you get 1 for included.
The completer.
Yes, that's what I was trying to think.
And now we're looking at Joyful performing here.
And I did not spend too much time there because of, the indoor singing aspect.
And while all that was going on, I was at a very empty World Showcase. I was able to enter Epcot at about 11:15. The park officially opened at 12, and I entered from the International Gateway because I had some breakfast over at the
Ale &
Ale & Compass. Wonderful breakfast there, and you could see very, very empty while you were at the event.
And what I love about Ale & Compass, it's one of the restaurants where you can take food to go. You can eat outside. Which I love as far as table service restaurants. I was there this morning at Epcot, and I arrived at about 11, let's say almost 11:30 or just after that is when I got into the park. I really like being able to kind of walk around a little bit before it officially opens. Also, there are several cavalcades, and this one is, I think it's called the Mickey and Friends Promenade. It's funny how each one has here they call them promenades.
Yeah, they're not really cavalcades, is because there's only one vehicle, I guess.
It's sort of a cavalcade, though.
Yeah, I guess so, because you have the characters walking. I do love these outfits, though.
Right, they're all in snowflake outfits, except Pluto's is a little bit less, but Mickey, Minnie, and Goofy have the full-on costumes.
And I just want to say a word about viewing these cavalcades. It is very difficult, as they call it a surprise and delight. There is no specific time, so the day we were there, you had to wait quite some time with me for the cavalcades to come by.
Well, I prefer to walk around, and especially in World Showcase where I actually just like to take laps. I prefer to walk around, and then eventually, I don't know if they call them a surprise and delight, but that is what they are, because they have no scheduled time. And Jeff's like, well, I think it's going to happen soon. And then an hour and 15 minutes later, nothing has happened.
Well, the thing is, they start at Norway, and then they go into Morocco, and then there's a break, and then they leave Morocco and go back to Norway. So it's very difficult to figure out which one is going to be out at what time. And if you miss one, you could be waiting an hour to an hour and a half for it to come again. And I needed certain angles to do this
needed.
Well, I do multi-angle. It's something I enjoy to do, the
I know.
multi-angle, and I like to have good sun and everything. So
But-
I don't mind waiting, but I'm sorry that you should not have waited all that time.
I don't like to just sit around. I'd rather walk and take pictures, and eventually, and after I finally was like, okay, I'm walking, I saw Santa. I saw
You
I saw
did.
them
You
all,
did.
and I saw the Mickey and Friends twice at the beginning and at the end of their rotation.
Well, speaking of Santa, here is Mr. Claus himself, and I recognize Santa. We would see him every single year at Epcot with Mrs. Claus. Usually they would be doing their meet and greet by the American Adventure.
And most guests, like the kids, want to actually talk to Santa, and I understand that, but I actually really like this way because Santa gets to see everybody
right.
who's in World Showcase, and I love that. So it's nice for this year, but I know everybody's going to want to, tell them what they want next year.
And here we have Elsa and Anna back there in the horse-driven carriage, and in their Christmassy looks.
Well, I mean, Queen
The
Elsa.
Frozen 2 look, Queen,
Yes, the
and Queen
Frozen-
Anna, by the way.
Yes. Well, Elsa has no. Their costumes are not Christmassy or anything, but they have a little bit of like garland and such on the carriage. And I want to mention, as far as Santa, I saw Santa and Mrs. Claus in a boat at Disney Springs today,
That
which
was
was
very
really
cool.
fun.
That was
I
cool.
have never seen Santa as much as I have this year.
I should mention the Frozen music that's playing in the background has a little bit of a Christmas touch to it. It kind of goes into a Christmassy mix, which I like.
I think it's the least of the three as far as Christmassy, because you have Santa and then you have Mickey and Friends actually in their outfits.
Right.
But a lot of the kids especially love Frozen. So here is, the Christmas tree that everybody knows. There's a lot of decorations up, but not all of the decorations are up this year. There's, there are times when I'm like, oh, well, the peppermints on the way to
Right.
France aren't up. But it's nice to see familiar.
And it was really nice to see this familiar group here, the Voices of Liberty, singing Christmas tunes. And it was so nice to see them sing, and to hear them sing, "Let There Be Peace on Earth." I was waiting for the fireworks that you'd usually hear, and Walter Cronkite narrating, although that goes back a few years.
Yeah, and the Voices of Liberty had not been performing at all until the Taste of International Festival of the Holidays started. And, everybody loves them. And I hope that once January comes, it would be really nice if they can fit them back into the, some sort of a schedule even here.
By the way, this is a great venue for them. It's really nicely spaced. I felt that I had plenty of room all around me to, to feel safe and to enjoy the performance.
And I think this was a great location for Mariachi Cobra too, because they're usually kind of in a tight little area
Yes,
of Mexico.
right.
I love seeing them there. It really lends. They're so talented. So here is Germany. When I went here this morning, there was like nobody in the German pavilion, which I loved.
Well, you were there. You pretty much rope dropped it, didn't you?
I more than rope dropped it. I showed up about 11:30 and it opened at noon.
And the usual decorations here, the ornaments in France.
Right. They don't, I don't know. I guess they must. Do they have those other the things that are overhead over
Yeah,
by?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
We
so
saw those. You and I did
I
see
totally
them the
forgot.
other day.
So they have pretty much their entire festive look this year, which is really nice. And here is the Arc de Triomphe. And I like
We
these
just
ornaments.
saw
They've
this
been-
in a TV show we were watching yesterday.
I love that show. Wait, Richard, how do you say AOD? He from the IT crowd.
That was a great show.
has
Travel
a
show
travel
he does.
show on Hulu. So if you haven't seen it and you miss traveling, it's really a really fun show.
And of course, since we were close to France anyway, why not take the Skyliner and take a look at the construction for Remy's Ratatouille adventure?
Why not? And I did this morning on the way back to Disney's Hollywood Studios and took some photos. It was a little bit dreary out, but I still
Was it any different than this?
there was some changes, and they were painting that the thing on the wall. Like, I thought it was all done, but it's not. They were working on that. There's like artwork on the wall, and they were working on that today.
There's a lot of details in the area around the entrance. I can't wait to see it in person when this area opens.
I would love it if sometime they just opened it and just let everybody walk around, even if the ride wasn't open yet. Just to enjoy it, because I miss France so much, and I'm really looking forward to this. Like, any kind of France I can get right now.
There's a tribute to Versailles, this nice sign here.
That's what some people said, because there's so much, like, there's
Gold,
gold leaf.
filigree.
Yeah, there's like gold leaf and such in it. I like the Paris sign better because it's much more, and I know I've said this before, it's much more subtle. I'm very much about a lot of times this being a little more subtle. And of course, we have the creperie over there.
Oh,
that's going to have
cannot wait for the creperie.
counter service and table service.
So that was a first look at the Epcot International
Taste of
Taste
Epcot
of-
International Festival of the Holidays.
And now it's time for the Gatorland Holiday Ho Ho Hoedown.
We were invited to Gatorland. We have never been to Gatorland as much as we have since it reopened.
And I love it.
I actually love the park. Like, I will get annual passes once the pandemic is mostly over and we're going out a little bit more.
How can you beat Skunk Ape singing the 12 Days of Christmas?
And his Santa outfit.
And his Santa outfit. That's right. It was tremendous.
Jeff really loves this. I mean, the Skunk Ape, they didn't have a social distancing Skunk Ape because there was no social distancing until this year.
And he tells you by the wording on his shirt there, if you're naughty or nice. And he had to think about it for me, but he ended up saying I was nice. So I appreciate that, Mr. Skunk Ape.
I want to know, once social distancing isn't as much a thing, will the Skunk Ape still be around? And I hope he is, because he's been so popular. Now Savannah is out here and she's feeding the gators.
Well, it's funny, if you watch the video with sound, you hear somebody in the background, I think the owner, saying the crocodiles think they're going to have an angel for breakfast. and I know that's not true. Of course, Savannah knows what she's doing, but it was funny when he said that.
It's really amazing that they go out there, and I've never heard of any issues here. Like, we
were invited out there.
Yeah, we didn't end up this time, but the gator, we've been with the gators enough. The gators are so well fed here, so they're pretty chill most of the time.
This reminds me of our morning walks around the neighborhood.
We sometimes see alligators, and this is gator claws. I think this is
gator claws.
This is the first year that they have had a holiday event, and I thought they did a really good job here. It's fun to be able to see holidays at the various parks and events. Like Jolly Creek was really fun too.
But I mean, you can't beat this. Gator claws. He's on an airboat. He has instead of a reindeer, he's got a giant gator there. Or maybe it's a crocodile, since Gator Claus is a gator himself.
Somebody on Twitter said, what if Santa was just a gator and we didn't know it?
That's true.
I thought it was always a gator. And I just thought that was really funny.
I had just asked the Skunk Ape, or Santa Skunk Ape there, if he was related to Gator Claus. He said distant relative.
He did not say.
His handler interpreted.
Interpreted.
That's what I was trying to say. So, I need an interpreter.
This, Gatorland is a really lot of fun. And what I really like about Gatorland is they kept all of their staff on and paid.
The entire pandemic, yes, right.
Well, for the couple months or so they were closed, and I think that's really, really great.
So they have these other little details with the snowmen here. They're all melting. Their snowmen aren't used to Florida. This snowman, though, was my favorite of all.
The snowman came up to me like he wanted a hug. I'm like, no. I'm like, nope.
Well, have you ever seen the videos of? There's one that's like this, a snowman very similar to this, and he'll be perfectly still, and then he'll come alive and startle people. It's so funny. In this he was sort of doing that.
The social distancing Skunk Ape really needed to be with him because he kept going in for hugs, and I'm just like, no.
And they all like to sing. You were observing this too, and you notice it's snowing.
I was observing. I thought, is this my video?
Oh, it could be your video.
I was observing it because I was
actually.
You were off doing something else.
It is my video, but you had a similar angle of it.
And they did a really good job with decor and such. And just fun, it's just kind of the Gatorland way.
Yes, so sad though. This little guy didn't do so well there.
No, and he's got a name tag and everything. Oh well,
yes.
Poor guy. And a hat, a Gatorland hat, and calls himself Jolly, and he needs a fan for some reason.
And all of these displays are up during the week, but the actual event
is just on
with
weekends.
Gator Claus and the other characters and things. You're right, just during the weekends.
And I wish it was during the week as well, because their social distancing, at least their masks and such, are not as strict as, let's say, Walt Disney World. So it'd be nice to be able to just kind of pop in on a Monday or something when it's not quite as busy.
So they also have a Christmas train for a small additional fee.
Online it doesn't mention the fee. It's
Oh.
either $2 or it's nothing, and I'm not sure what it is. They said it was $2. I looked online and it said it was included. So who knows?
Oh, okay.
During Halloween it was supposed to be included, but either way, it's definitely during the year it's like $2 to ride the train. It's really a fun little train ride.
Oh, yeah. And also it involves Bubba.
Yeah, I actually didn't follow this one as much as I did the Halloween one. I just looked at the decorations and
Well, there are some of Bubba's socks, and you're going to see he's got a new pair of overalls coming up there.
I missed that. Like, you were kind of in my way, so the stuff on the
your
right
way.
side, you were like, taping and stuff. I didn't see some of this. So
Fruitcake. Oh, fruitcake gets a bad rap everywhere.
Well-
even the Jungle Cruise makes fun of fruitcake.
but Stalin is actually like a fruit
I
cake,
know,
and
and
I
I
love
love
Stalin.
There were cookies for Santa there.
The beer garden used to have Stalin in it, and that's how I found out I actually liked it, and now we get Stalin all the time.
And you see the skunk ape and a different looking skunk
I
ape back
didn't
there.
because somebody was
As
in
in
my
your way, yes.
And,
Next time, sit on the right side of the train.
Yeah, but then you're not getting any video. And they have actual animals and such out here too. They have like deer.
I was going to
and
say some of the
others.
finest animatronics in all of Orlando here.
It's really a surprise. Like, we don't ride the train usually that often now. We've ridden it several times this year, but you forget that they have actual animals. So it's like, oh, look, animals. And anytime I see the birds or any of their other, they have actually a number of different other animals.
Right, but of course, the main thing
Gators.
is the gators. And I love gators.
And I love the marsh out there, the breeding marsh, which has so many gators, but also a lot of birds. And they have like one of their passes is for those who like to photograph
Bird
birds.
watchers.
And I think they get to go in early and be able to do that. And
I always like how birds seem to like to kind of stand on the backs of the gators when they're in the water.
It's
Apparently
really kinda odd.
It's odd, but apparently they feel safe.
well, I guess if you're on their
Right?
back.
Oh, this is the best part of all. The little grunt, the little baby
He was like
gator.
having a standoff with me here.
Yeah, he looked mad at you, and I'm surprised he even saw you
But-
through that glass.
When I first went up to him, he bared his teeth and he jumped at me.
I love it.
But he'll eventually be in the water with everybody
That's right.
else.
Highly recommend it. I loved it. The Ho 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 Down
It was
at
really
Gatorland.
fun.
So much fun to see Christmas at a new park for us with Christmas.
But you have to realize, again, not as strict with masks, which it's not quite. Disney is the gold standard with that. Then Universal and Gatorland sometime after
But
that.
it's not so busy where
And
you
it's
can't-
almost all outside.
right. That's right.
So, but I just want to say I actually have really loved our time at Gatorland this year. It's been really nice.
So, believe it or not, that is another show.
That's another show. Thank you to our sponsor, MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. Again, if you book with them, and they've been in business so long now, and they're just fantastic, but they will donate, especially, they're going to donate no matter what. But this year, they are saying for 2021 bookings, if you book this year, they will divide up between those three charities, which was Make-A-Wish, Give Kids the World, and Best Friends Animal Society. I think that's what they called it.
And we support all three of those.
Yes, and especially Give Kids the World.
Right.
Make-A-Wish is, I don't want to say they're not similar to Give Kids the World, but they work with them
Yeah.
because they work
together.
Yes, they work together. So I'm looking forward to the Give Kids the World event, Night of a Million Lights, again, hopefully in the next couple of weeks.
And you have already been out this week. Just today, you've been to Epcot and also to Disney Springs, and you got to see Santa, as you were telling me. So we'll probably show a little of that in next week's show.
Well, my plan had been to do a photo walk from the TTC to the Contemporary, but it was really a miserable day out this morning. So I waited and then eventually made it over to Epcot and Disney Springs for really short visits.
And tomorrow we have back finally to Disney's Hollywood Studios to see the nighttime activities with the Tower of Terror. And, we have a new camera that we're both looking forward to testing out. It's one of the mirrorless low light cameras. So we're going to try to up our low light game for the channel.
And I mean, the parks are a lot busier right now. it'll be interesting to see what tomorrow night is like. What I prefer to do is try to go when it's not as busy, which I'm
Right.
hoping it will be, more like that.
Well, at least we're
to
not worried.
wherever we're going.
Right. We're not worrying about rides or anything. We're just
Right.
going to walk around and look at the decorations and play with the camera.
But you want a Rano wrap too.
Oh, I wouldn't mind. I would not mind a Ronto wrap, but if it's going to be a crowded situation, I'm quite happy with your cooking at home.
Well, I mean, you can take it and we can walk over to near Pizza Rizzo where
Right.
the tables are usually not busy. And if I get food.
And
then
speaking of food, we're going to try to have some of those yummy macadamia nut pancakes for breakfast on Thursday.
that will be very nice
And
too.
then go and see the Magic Kingdom, and that'll be our week out season.
Yeah.
Because we haven't been to the Kingdom in a while, really, since the 6th, I guess, of November. So it's long overdue to get back to the Kingdom.
And really just probably the first 2 hours or so before it gets busier.
And maybe the Wilderness Lodge, check out that.
Yes, so probably a couple hours Magic Kingdom and then maybe get food at the Wilderness and then check out the decorations there. So that's sort of what we're thinking this week.
Should be a nice couple of days, nice and cool. So yeah, looks
It
like
was chilly today. It's been sometimes in the 30s at night, and I think
You have
it
to
was
be
in the
careful
50s
when you
today.
say chilly.
It- you know
week
what,
or a
that-
couple weeks ago, you said like 72 was chilly.
Yeah, but today actually, like I had on the sweatshirt and the Helly Hansen jacket over it. It was actually chilly today.
So anyway, thanks again for listening. Have a great week. We'll see you all next week. Stay safe. Merry Christmas and
It's not Christmas yet.
close enough.
Well,
It's
you
getting
know
there.
what? Merry
Happy
early
Thanksgiving.
Christmas. No, it's not Thanksgiving. Anyway, stay safe and thank you so much for watching and listening. And maybe you made it this far. Who knows?
See you next week.
Have a great week.